what's up, guys? Welcome to the What a Deck profile for the Normal Pendulum Beat deck. Hardleg Joe here with Cardsworth. Go ahead and say hi.
Oh, well,
Okay.
last time Frank said stuff and you were mad at him, so I didn't know if you wanted me to be quiet
I wasn't
or not.
mad at him. But anyway, is the deck profile. I'm going to go through the cards and then we'll explain all the combos. We play one, that thing. I don't know how to pronounce it. We play 3 Dragon Horn Hunter. Play 1 Sky Dragoons of Draconia. 3 Flash Knight. 3 Dragoons of Draconia. 3 Dragong. 3 Raiden, Hand of the Lightsworn. 1 Rescue Rabbit. 2 Card Trooper. 3 Plague Spreader Zombies. 2 Galaxy Cyclone. A Raigeki, you'd have to be a fool not to. Reinforcements of the Army, 3 of them. 3 Summoner Art. 3 Dark Factory of Mass Production. And 2 Swing of Memories.
Which we didn't get all episode.
Nope, didn't use a single time. Oh yeah, I don't know why I said that like it was the last card. 2 Fire Formation Tenki, 1 Pendulum Back. And then for the extra deck, we have 1 Beals, 1 Red Hot Dragon Archfiend, Scrap Dragon, 1 Black Rose. Everything's 1, so I'm not even going to bother. Goyo Guardian, the Horus with the funny name, Vulcan the Divine, Gaia Dragon the Thunder Charger, Constellar Palami Mark 7, Photon Strike Bouncer, Dark Rebellion Ixie Dragon, 101, Castell, Gaga Cowboy, and Exciton Knight. So basically this works, it's not quite a toolbox deck, but it doesn't have the versatility of it. It's more of a beatdown deck, as the name may imply. Basically, you're just going to complete your pendulum scales. You've got roughly the same amount of 7s and 3s and 2s, depending on what you go. The reason we only play 1 Lance and 1 Sky Dragoons is because we already had enough level 7s with the Dora Dragon and the Flash Knight, so we didn't want to overload it with too many of them. Plus, you could search both of these with Summoner's Art. So we felt like they were kind of, what's the word? You only want to use them in certain situations. So
Situational.
yeah, they were situational. And we went with the Dora Dragon, even though he doesn't have very much attack and is not really that useful. Just because rank 4, we found it was most of the time a lot better to go into rank 4s for the Ixies, just so you can get your 101 and your Exciton Knight. It's also a lot better for the Synchros. These high-level ones, you can't really Synchro nearly as well with them for the most part. Not with Raiden, at least. So the idea is you want to make rank 4 Ixies when you need them. Otherwise, you just attack with massive amounts of monsters. And of course, most of your pendulums give you effects that help you with your normal monsters. Lance lets you do piercing. This one lets you blow up a card after you inflict battle damage. This one lets you add monsters from your deck to your hand.
And
so
Dragon Horn Hunter means you take no battle damage with your normal monsters.
Yeah, and this is all with normal monsters, so that doesn't work with Raiden. So you use them, you Ixie summon, and then the point of Raiden and Card Trooper is to mill cards into the graveyard, because you have Dark Factory of Mass Production and Pendulum Back
And Swing of
and
Memories.
Swing of Memories that are going to let you get all those cards back out of your graveyard. Because that's one of the flaws with the Ixie summoning the Pendulum monsters as they go to the grave. So this is meant so you can Ixie summon and then immediately recover them with one of these 3 cards. So there's that. Rescue Rabbit, of course, lets you get any of your 2 monsters, so you can go for rank 4 plays. Or you could just attack with them, or you could just let them be destroyed and then they go back to the extra deck. So there's a lot of options there. Plague Spreader is your tuner. He works with all the milling, because if he's in the graveyard, he's fine. Use him to make Beals and a couple other different things. Usually we ended up using Raiden a lot more, just because more things. Honestly, if I was going to make this deck, I would probably try to focus either on Ixieing or Synchroing and just pick one or the other. So there's some things with that. If you like the versatility, I mean, ours worked pretty well. Galaxy Cyclone, obviously, like I said, you could probably switch for MST, but it works better with the mills. You have to be a fool not to play Raigeki. And, oh yeah, and Tenki helps you search out Dragoons of Draconia. So that's how that all works. As for the extra deck, I'm not really sure what I think you're just trying to cover all your bases.
Yeah, I was just trying to cover all the bases. We never actually got into our bigger Ixies with like Strike Bouncer or M7. When I was playtesting this, I made those fairly frequently. It's a little easier to make them when I was playing it because we had the 2 Lancer Funiculuses, and
Yeah.
so you usually end up with more level 6s on the field to go into them. But we still had the potential. I just think we never got around to it.
Yeah. Actually, like, you could make this, really, this is like 3 different deck ideas smashed together. Because this guy is really good, especially with, well, they're both 7s. But, yeah.
I mean, they'd both be good
really
if you already have everything on the field, and then you put them in your zones.
Yeah, that might be interesting. So yeah, that's just a variety. And the side deck is mostly just other ideas you might want to throw in again. Maybe you want to go all lances for piercing damage and extra attack. Maybe you want to go all Sky Dragoons just so you can destroy more monsters. These would be like actual side deck you'd probably want to keep, whichever one you think would be more useful and side in more copies of it. Kari Bandit, obviously another milling option that'll also let you keep your spells and while sending the monsters. I did most of this. You didn't even have a side deck. This was all just.
I had a few things prepared, and you just sort of jumped into making the side deck, and I was just quietly content to let you do it.
Yeah, this is just stuff that it was like, if I was making this, I would put some of this stuff in here. Like if you're milling, you probably want Pero. I thought Unexpected Die was better for summoning out normal monsters first turn. Faustian Bargain for normal monsters, highly underrated. Send a special summon monster on either side of the field to the graveyard. Like, doesn't destroy. Like, perfect. Also doesn't target, I don't think. I don't know if it targets. Wavering Eyes, good search and destroy sort of thing. I see a lot of Pendulum decks using this. Heart of the Underdog, of course, if you took out the Raidens and the Plague Spreaders, if you made this more of a
pure...
all pure normal monsters, get that. Pendulum back, I thought would be useless, but we actually used it a couple times. You may want to consider throwing more in there. It's kind of situational because you have to have your pendulum scales done and 2 monsters.
It's good chainable, like it's bait, and it's also chainable if they try to destroy your scales. You can activate it and then get recoveries out of your graveyard to bring them back.
And you can put monsters back in the extra deck.
Right, we figured that out.
Yeah. Breakthrough skill, another good, like, if you're milling stuff, you don't want to put down $40 for Galaxy Cyclone. You can mill Breakthrough skill into the graveyard. It's still useful. It'll stop them from, like, 101-ing you.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been a better choice considering we've played a lot more monster effect-based decks, but we didn't know that when we started. And then, of course, my 3 favorites, the trap monsters that become normal monsters. Because you're running like if you're doing a more normal monster-centric deck, you can't go wrong with these. Shapesister's a tuner. These are both level 4s. And of course you can make them any attribute, so you could use them to get into some of the crazier things. I don't think... Yeah, I mean, 2 lights and you could make Paladynamo and stuff like that.
Since you didn't fill up the side deck with the total 15, I'll just suggest a couple.
Oh, okay.
Like Imperial Iron Wall, which is good because if these normal things get banished, you have no way to get them back.
True.
So Imperial Iron Wall, if you want to maybe take out like your Plague Spreaders or something expendable, or Swing of Memories, since we apparently never got it and didn't need it. Throw an Imperial Iron Wall, you don't banish, plus it wrecks a lot of the meta, keeps Cosmos from doing their thing. What else banishes? Ritual Beasts banish. If we ever get the Burgostomas, that would just help them, so you wouldn't want to play that actually against them.
Dark Law.
Yeah, Dark Law.
Significantly less useful.
More defensive traps you could run like Bottomless or Torrential.
Well, yeah.
If you swap
it goes
things
without
out.
saying you could throw staples into any deck.
And one thing to think of with the meta coming, Cyber Dragon and Chimeritic Fortress Dragon, keep those on the radar. A lot of machine archetypes going to be seeing play soon.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the normal Pendulum deck. Have fun. I hope you guys enjoy, and we'll be back next week with a different deck. Ooh, chocolate.